Hi, everyone. My name is Sophia Schluger. I'm Managing Director for Amber Group for Europe, based in London. Thanks for being here today and, sweating through the warm weather. So I look after sort of our private wealth management division at Amber Group. Amber Group is a global digital asset provider of services that run everything from, investing, trading, and other sorts of lending activities. So we manage $3 billion of assets on our platform. We're actually one of the largest liquidity providers to the market and market maker, trading upwards of $5 billion a day, mostly in spot and derivatives in ETH and Bitcoin. But we have over 100 digital assets, and we have also a flagship digital asset platform called WhaleFin, where we offer wealth management solutions, structured products, et cetera. My origin story is basically I was introduced to my boss and heard about Amber Group and the vision and what we were building, and I was just really excited about leaving TradFi and trailblazing into what is the future of the financial services industry and solving for a lot of problems as it relates to financial inclusivity, et cetera. So it's been wonderful.
And I like that expression, TradFi. You almost make it sound cool. All right.
Hi, Samuel Rondot. I'm the managing director at Damex. We presented the company before. We are broker-dealer based here in Gibraltar. Basically, my background is in classic finance. I come from the algorithmic trading. I was running a company for 20 years. And prior to joining Damex, I was the head of trading for Crypto.com.
Hey, everybody. My name is Mindaugas, so you pronounced it right, Gordon. Thanks very much.
Wow.
First try.
I meant to do that.
So I work at Fireblocks. We're an enterprise-grade infrastructure provider for crypto businesses with a focus on custody. And my origin story is I was interested in crypto since around 2017, and then got really into it during COVID because what else is there to do? Just working my boring traditional finance job. And I was on the bonds trading desk and was getting absolutely bored of it. And then had the opportunity to join Fireblocks and basically make my hobby into my work, which I've done earlier this year.
Fantastic. So let's make some context. Okay, why does the infrastructure matter in the institutional context? Why do we care? Why is this a thing?
Do you want to start on that end?
Sure, Fireblocks.
Oh, so starting from me? Perfect.
Why not?
Okay. So basically, infrastructure is the backbone of what everything is built on, correct? So in order to have institutions enter the space, in order to increase adoption, you do need to have very, very solid infrastructure. Because first of all, that ensures that your assets are safe, and we know how important that is in any asset class, but specifically in crypto, because of the nature of the blockchain, everything being immutable. If you make one mistake, or if there's a bad actor that tries to take your assets, if you don't have the right infrastructure in place to protect against those types of scenarios, you might never see your assets again. And institutions are aware of that, and these are some of the bigger challenges that prevent them from entering mass adoption. So in short, if we want to see every business becoming a Web3 business, if we want to see all businesses finding a use case and entering blockchain, we first need to make sure that we've built the right infrastructure that allows them to do it safely and efficiently.
So Fireblocks, let's use that as an example. Can you explore a little bit what you do, how you put these ideas into actual practice in a way that we can relate to?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So we focus on protecting our clients. So, okay, let me actually take a little step back. So the origin story of a company is based in cybersecurity. This is where our founders come from. And back in 2017, a hacker group from North Korea, Lazarus Group, they basically made they did a couple of hacks into 4 South Korean crypto exchanges. And our founders were working at the time at a cybersecurity firm, and they were called to investigate those hacks. And they realized that for blockchain-based businesses, basically there wasn't at the time infrastructure in place that could help prevent the sort of attacks from happening in the future. And that's how they came with an idea of Fireblocks. So what we do, we essentially provide the technology that gives our customers a multi-layer security approach to making sure that their assets are safe. So one part of that is actual protection, encryption of the private keys, making sure that they cannot be stolen or accessed by malicious parties, malicious third parties. Then also protecting from possible attack vectors from the inside as well, such as employee collusion and so on and so forth. And the idea is basically really to eliminate a single point of failure, because if you only do one thing and that thing gets compromised, then again, that's how you run into trouble. So what we do is we actually build the whole security ecosystem over several layers to make sure that there's never a single point of failure there. So private keys are protected. You have policies that monitor your transactions internally, making sure that only people that have the right and have the authority to make certain transactions are allowed to do that. And then, of course, there's other layers like the secure asset transfer network, and finally, insurance, which is also very important. Insurance is something that everybody needs to have, but something that you really don't want to have to use. You know, it's kind of like the last. Level of defense. It's kind of when you're on an airplane and you know you have the life jackets under your seats. You really hope that you'll never have to use them, but if you do, that you'll be happy that they're there. So this is how we see insurance.
Okay, and you used I hadn't thought about the asset transfer network, the secure asset transfer network.
Yep.
So when you release something from Fireblocks custody, and I guess you're sending it on behalf of a client. When you warm up your assets, I assume you have some kind of cold wallet or layers of cold wallets. When you warm up your assets, are you generally returning those assets to the customer, or are you sending them on the customer's behalf to another location?
So with Fireblocks, we actually don't do anything on the behalf of our clients. Mm-hmm. We provide a technology that allows the clients to be essentially their own custodian and full legal owner of their assets. It's up to them how they use the technology. The technology is there to protect their assets and to enable them to do what they need to do on the blockchain. And when I was talking about secure asset transfer network, it's basically, imagine, Gordon, you're doing a Bitcoin transaction. You're sending it to your friend, like, well, and if it's a large enough transaction, what would you normally do, right? You first need to make sure that you have the deposit address, that you're making no mistakes when you input that. That's a long deposit address, like how many characters it is. I
forget.
Yeah.
But it's all in hexadecimal and it starts with the 0x. So yeah.
And then what you need to do, like if you're sending a significant amount, you're probably going to want to do a test transfer first to make sure that your friend gets the Bitcoin. And then you're happy, then you know that you've got the right address, that the transactions, that nobody's in the middle spoofing the address, and you're actually not sending your assets to a malicious actor, but actually to the destination where you want to send. So it's really complicated, and it's not really user-friendly. So what we've done with the Secure Asset Transfer Network, we've eliminated that risk because Fireblocks takes care of all of that in the background. So we're the secure payment rails. You never need to worry about knowing or inputting the deposit address of your counterparty anywhere on the system. You basically have a list of counterparties that their addresses are verified by us, and you just select their name from the list and you send your assets. And it's quick and easy like that. So this is another example of what infrastructure can do. It not only makes things safer, it makes things more usable, and in that way makes things more accessible.
Okay, and I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to poke at that idea a little bit. Is the network secure, or is the means of selecting the recipient secure? Like, is it a separate? Are you on an alternate Bitcoin network, or are you sending it on on the normal Bitcoin network, but with a secure address book?
Yes, so you're doing everything on chain. So if you're sending Bitcoin, it's going on the actual Bitcoin network. But what is secured? Your wallets are secured by the Fireblocks multi-layer security approach.
Right.
And then, because all of the counterparties are on Fireblocks, on the Fireblocks network,
that's the part I was missing. The counterparties on Fireblocks also. Okay, I understand. Samuel, let me go to you. So one thing you mentioned in our sort of pre-chat was, another aspect of the infrastructure is treasury management. Can you talk about that a bit?
Yes. So disclosure, we're a client of Fireblocks, and I think most of the institutional these days are client of Fireblocks. What matters for us is we're running a business. We're receiving crypto for clients. We are swapping those crypto on various liquidity and sending it back in the form of fiat to our clients. The whole process cannot be in a single wallet managed by a single person. So what basically Fireblocks has brought to the space, they are not the only one, but is the management for companies to be able to have the security for the employees, the different level of control of various functions. By example, we have different thresholds, and at a certain level, the finance department is going to vet the transactions. So on one hand, we are securing the relationship with the client. We have the whitelist that was mentioned. On the other, we are securing the whole logic of using between a team. We have the traders, the operation, finance, all these people have a view into the operation and the movement of the assets. And the blockchain technology is amazing, but when you have only one set of private keys and one control to a wallet, it's literally impossible to put this in place. So we came into the era.
Sorry, pause for a second. It's legally impossible? Did I hear that correctly?
Literally.
Literally impossible.
Yeah,
okay.
that was my French. And literally impossible to have just one person controlling everything. So with the adoption of Bitcoin and Bitcoin transaction and very large number, what we needed was solution to have the actual team managing those assets on behalf of the client. And this is where it becomes crucial.
And then maybe you both can comment. You know, everyone when they think about security is thinking about, they default to thinking about technological measures, multi-sig wallets, you know, hot code wallets, all that other jazz. But you raised an interesting point, which is employee collusion or insider collusion.
Absolutely.
And even if you have multi-sig wallets, if you know if it's 2 out of 3 and 2 out of 3 are bad people, you got a problem. I think I heard that you have some sort of solution for that. I mean, is it just insurance, or how do you deal?
No. So basically, as I said, depending on the threshold of the level of the transaction, you can have multiple people involved. What basically we do is there's always a separation between different phases of the operation. So you receive the coins, traders are doing some function, then it goes to operation. No one can process a full chain from receiving money to the client and sending them to the bank account. So it's also how you are going to put layer in place inside the company to make sure that this collision cannot happen. Then at every single step, we are going to have obviously 2FA, multiple authentication, etc., etc. So it's there's two different aspects: the team organization of the process and the tools that you're going to use.
And I wonder if there's obviously blockchain transactions are near instantaneous. I wonder if there's something in your system where the transfer or the action gets approved and then there's some sort of reversal time possible.
No, that doesn't exist on the blockchain. So basically, once you press send, it's final.
Right.
But this is why we rely on tools like Fireblocks. There's a whole process of whitelisting the address prior to any kind of conversation with the clients. So we do not type any address these days when we interact with clients and when we receive assets. Everything is basically with multiple steps of confirmation inside the tool.
Interesting, fascinating. Sophia, can I have you jump in? And
Yep.
yeah.
So anyways, as I mentioned, we're a massive liquidity provider. We have over 100 exchanges and trading venues connect to us via API for our liquidity. You know, obviously, we've been in the space since 2017. We do use Fireblocks as well, full disclosure. And, you know, we have proprietary algorithms. And because we aggregate liquidity, obviously, we can offer best pricing and best execution for our clients. And so, you know, I'm really glad that insurance was mentioned because actually we are probably one of the few providers that do actually offer insurance on our clients' wallets, about 100 million across the 3 billion. Not perfect, but at least it is a step in the right direction. So we trade also across both centralized and decentralized exchanges, and you know, very excited, hopefully, to see the market pick up again soon.
Interesting. And what is it like getting insurance in this industry?
Well, this was a recent announcement, actually. So it's early days, and I'd love to say I was involved in negotiations for that. But I think it adds another layer of credibility or assurance, particularly for those who are transitioning more from like the TradFi side and coming into crypto for the first time, and they need a little bit of hand-holding, or they just need something that obviously I'm more focused on is family offices and high net worth, and bringing them into the space, talking them through what DLT is, what are the investment opportunities in crypto, and then walking them through a lot of our really innovative structured products. For example, we trade derivatives, perpetual swaps. We offer all sorts of different abilities, whether it is trading on margin or 5x leverage. So again, it's a step in the right direction. I think there's a lot more to still be developed. I'm not sure we'll get to 100% coverage, but at least insurance companies are looking at it, and providers are thinking about the requirements and needs of their clients.
Which leads into an interesting question. Is there I'll put this to the whole group, is there any, I see you're pursuing obviously best practices using professional judgment about what is best. Is there such a thing as an ISO standard on best practices for digital custody? Is there a published industry standard yet? Is there any kind of third-party verification? Or is everyone figuring out what's best and sort of getting good ideas from each other?
There's definitely, it's far from my area of expertise, but when I was at Crypto.com, there was ISO 9007 or something like this, and various steps.
I think that's for general IT. Is that for crypto?
Yes, there's, I think they explore something like 5 or 6 different audit and process and things like this. So there's a lot going on. It's progressing, but it's still, the big guys are in another league of their own, but it's coming widely to the space for sure.
You want to comment? Is there a public standard, international standard for crypto custody, or is there an industry standard?
Yeah, so very good question, and actually there's a bit of both to what you said. There are some standards that are being adopted from other industries, let's say from cybersecurity, from IT, also from traditional finance. So crypto as a relatively, well, I wouldn't even say relatively, as a really new industry, is learning and taking the best practices from the other industries that existed beforehand. So for example, on the IT part, and since our company and our founders come from cybersecurity background, we're making sure that we adhere to all of the strictest standards that there are for a cybersecurity company. So there are standards, there's ISO standards, there's SOC 2 Type 2 certificate that basically deals with the fact of how well you manage your data protection and how well does your company adhere to various data privacy and protection laws around the world. So that's one example. Another really important example is pen testing. For those of you who don't know, pen testing, basically penetration testing, you hire a third-party firm that specializes in that, and what they try to do is they actually try to hack your system. So if they succeed, then that's basically like that shows you that you have some security holes that can be exploited by malicious actors, and then you work together with them to patch it up. So every company in the crypto space, and especially the ones that deal with the security of clients' assets, should be doing these, should be following these standards, and should be aiming to be pen tested to have SOC 2 Type 2 compliancy, and we have all of those. So, and then on the other hand, of course, as you also said, people do sit down, do come together, sit down and discuss what else is there that we can do, how we can improve this, what other things we can build on top of it.
Interesting. I mean, it seems like an area that would generate a public standard at some point, like one that's specifically tailored for crypto and blockchain. But I think it's also challenging because it's moving so fast. It's going to be a thing, I guess.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, it's an open-ended question. If we're talking about building an infrastructure that institutions feel comfortable with, there's custody, there's security, there's, I mentioned trade speed. What are the other elements, if anything occurs, that would enable institutional adoption of crypto? I'm going to start pointing at people. There you go.
You make it look complicated. Yeah? It's not.
Okay.
I'm
a lawyer. I get paid by the hour. That's why I do that.
Yeah. You receive assets. You need to do something with it, and you need to send them back. At the end of the day, whatever you do, settlement, trading, management of treasury, whatever the operation is, the blockchain is making things simple. We just need to manage the technical risk of mismanipulation of the blockchain tools at the end of the day. So it's really about Fireblocks specifically. Then when you go behind this, we are back to the, I would call it classic financial world, where you are interacting with exchanges, you have a different assets, you have GUI, everything managed by API. There's nothing very complicated. We are still relying on the technology which was created 13, 14 years ago. What we are developing now, what the next step is, and the tool is an amazing example, is how to make our life as professional and institutional servicing clients the easiest and the safest as possible. We want to be sure that when we send assets, no mistake can be made, because the blockchain doesn't allow you to recall.
Interesting. So tell us a little bit about Damex itself, the company itself, how it's growing and how it's interacting with Fireblocks. But
yes, so
good.
Our main activity is settlement. We receive crypto from our clients that we need to convert back to some currencies in fiat and send them back to their operation. So we probably, among the people here, have the most basic operation, where we interact directly with a wallet provided by Fireblocks. We have each single client has his own wallet, receive the coins, send it to the liquidity provider, convert it back. We can work with Amber or with other people. And then you got fiat. So for us, the operation is very, very, very basic. But we need to be 100% sure, thanks to the amount that we are trading, that we are in a super safe environment technically, and no human error can come into the way. We are trading in the region over 200 million every month. So we don't want any of those funds not ending up on our client's bank account.
And Amber, you're going to get the last word?
Well, I mean, I think it also comes down to your business model and your risk management, your expertise, and how you set up. You know, we are diversified across all of our counterparties. I think we have a great risk management process in place. Obviously, we use the best in class, Fireblocks, Chainalysis, a lot of other providers. And we've been through 3 crypto winters, you know, and have emerged, you know, solid throughout all of them. And I think that's a testament to how we've set ourselves up. It's a testament to our dedication to our clients and the importance of security and operating in a best practice way. So it's one of those things that it's exciting to see the infrastructure improve. It's exciting to see different tools come to market for institutions, whether it be risk management tools, portfolio, you know, management tools, et cetera. But at the same time, I think everyone needs to take responsibility for the way that they're built, the way they interact with their counterparties, and that they have all of the sort of protocols in place as possible to be as automated, as efficient as, you know, the highest standard in their operations in order to ensure, you know, continuity of business and safeguarding of client assets.
And I think that's a great note to end on. Big round of applause, please, for our panel. Lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please.